Hey, it's Greg Milby, community storyteller for Kentucky's Heartland. There is my Australian singing goddess. That is Tamara Stewart.
Your words, mate. Your
I think we
words.
make it official. I
It's
do.
very, it's very sweet. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So, Tamara Stewart is phenomenal singer and songwriter who's doing a great project. Actually, has been doing a project for a few years now. It's called Lest We Forget, and we are getting ready to come up on the third album of Lest We Forget. First and foremost, Tamara, talk about Lest We Forget and exactly what it is. Since people are tuning in right now, let's hook them and tell them why they need to come to this concert and what it's about.
Look, it's such a unique project. Lest We Forget was born at the Radcliffe Veterans Centre. I had the opportunity to come and run my sort of trauma recovery, healing, songwriting sessions that I'd been doing across America since I'd been living here since 2015. And so I was invited to come and work with the veterans at the facility there to see if we could write a song, talk about feelings, and just come together and use songwriting as a modality for a bit of brain stimulation, a bit of connection, and some healing. And it was just a magical first session. And so from that, Laurie Jury, who was the activities director at the time, was like, you need to come and do this every week. And so this is in 2019. So I'm talking when the world went crazy.
Yeah.
So in August 2019, we started and we just were writing songs every week. And Laurie had the vision of, hey, let's see if we can get some of these recorded. And if anyone knows Laurie, she doesn't do things halves. And we ended up in Nashville in House of Blues Studios recording a collection of those songs. And from that, it was like, we need to do a concert. And so it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll do a concert and a album. And then we thought, wow, we did it, like high five. And it was just such a beautiful process with the veterans coming out and talking about things they hadn't talked about in groups. Like we were talking about that first album has songs about partners passing or experiences of service, obviously, and just some fun stuff, what it's like to be in Kentucky. It's an education for me on all fronts. So I'm really humbled to just sit in the room and help them write a song. But where it's gone from there, I mean, it has a life of its own and it's dragging us along with it. We're just trying to be obedient to what the project wants. So that's a long answer, but it's a really unique project. And I think it can be hard to put into words.
Now, I'll give people the details. Lest We Forget, celebrating the service through song, is on Saturday night, November the 12th, 7 o'clock, Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center. Tickets are available now, thepack.net. Get them. Don't wait. Go ahead and get them. And if you can't make it because you got another commitment, tell all your friends about it. Make sure everybody knows about this, because circling back, and we'll come back to more information about the show, but the first year that you guys put this on, I went to the show and I didn't know what to expect. You and Lori had told me what we potentially could expect, but I don't think even you guys knew what you were going to experience that night. It was a magical night of hearing stories to song from our veterans. Some really silly songs, some really deep love songs, and songs that I don't even know what I was listening to, but it made me cry because it was their life and their emotions and their story. So it was just powerful.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you saying that, because when you started sort of sharing, I remember the night I came out, the first night, and because I said to Laurie, yeah, we'll do a little concert in the centre, and she goes, oh no, I think we should do it in the State Theatre. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we brought the band. I mean, to let people know, this is a full band, fully rehearsed show. I do the best show I can possibly do. The veterans this year are going to be in the audience. They were the first year. Second year, the pandemic got in our way. So this is just the moment I walked out that first night, and I think I sang the first line that mentioned Kentucky, and the crowd erupted. And it was just from that moment. I don't know that I've ever felt, and I've said this to you before, the community spirit and support around the veterans, but also just that general vibe up there in Elizabethtown. It's like nothing I've ever felt before, and I'm being extremely serious. Like the support, the love, the help thy neighbour, all of that stuff is so potent. And in my experience, And so that first song, that first concert, I was just like, what? Who are these people? This is
It,
amazing. It was love all night. And I expect we'll get that on Saturday the 12th as
Oh
well.
yeah, and I had somebody at the first year come out and say, "Wow, I didn't know what to expect tonight, and this was amazing. Why was this not 100% sold out?" I'm like, "I don't know." The very next concert, the next round, I had multiple people come up and say that. I said, I don't know either, but I will tell you, it is
Mm.
a magical moment and something you will remember all of your life. I remember I didn't get as many stories from my grandpa about his time in the army. I did get some later on in his life, but it really is magical music. And you are, for those that don't know, she is an award-winning singer-songwriter from Australia, but she's a Kentucky girl at heart now. I don't care. You may live in Nashville, but you're a Kentucky girl at heart. When and you still release music on your own,
Mhm.
but did you expect this to become so much part of your life when you did the first one?
Look, I think that's what makes it so important, that we as like, whether we're dream chasers or whether we whatever it is in life, we're trying to pursue a life of happiness and success and connection. It's like it's just the ability to show up and say yes. I remember the conversation with Laurie that first time, and she was saying, "Okay, well, the the group participants, this is the very first, before I even been there, the very first group." And she said the participants are going to be aged between the age of 60 and 103. And I was like, "I'm sorry," because I'd never done anything like that before, and I am continually in awe of the power of music. And my dad had dementia, and so doing this work, and also I get to go and sit with people that are in various stages of dementia, and music is magic. And the way it's brought some stories out of people that don't usually tell them. I mean, I'm continually shocked by the life that this project has, and I'm really grateful to be a vessel. I don't always understand how it happens, but it happens. And it's definitely, I mean, I've released albums and record deals, and I've been coming to Nashville to perform and touring and stuff since 2001. But I've been singing about Kentucky since I was 10 years old. So,
Hmm.
on my front porch with my little guitar. So
Oh, it comes out in your singing for sure.
yeah.
Because the first time I heard you sing, I'm going, "What happened to the Australian girl?" Because when you sing, there is no Australian accent there at all.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a crazy thing. It sounds much more natural if I was trained by Merle Haggard and Dolly Parton and the Judds and, Loretta Lynn and all these guys. So
yeah,
it's just an organic thing.
I will tell you, a show with you is like Loretta Lynn and Reba McEntire had a baby. And
Oh,
I'll leave it at that because there's parts of the show that I mean, I don't want to give away, and I'm sure you'll do that again this year. But thank you for what you're doing, because
oh
I
my
could
God.
only imagine how difficult it would have been coming in that first day to the Radcliffe Veteran Center and not knowing what these veterans were going to want to do. I mean, here is someone from Australia that talks a little different than they do. And now they're supposed to tell you stories and then continue to tell you those stories until there's a song put together.
Yeah.
And just to see them in the audience that first year, and I cannot wait to see them again this year, how passionate they were when the concert started. Uh, that says that you want them over.
Mm.
And I love the fact that this is history. This is something that'll be around for their grandkids and for their grandkids when they want to hear stories. So I appreciate you taking that time to dedicate to them to do this project.
Thank you. I mean, I'm honoured that they trusted me, and I've been now doing it for 3 years. And the KDVA and everyone have got on board, and I get to visit all four centres, and it is. I mean, it's beautiful work, and I get to write songs for a living. I get to, be with people who are and then just to see them the way they connect and I mean, I couldn't write these songs without them. I really could not write these songs without them. And I've been writing songs since I was 10 years old. So as a creative, every level of my spirit is in awe of that I get to do this. And I mean that sincerely. I'm an immigrant in this country, and I get to learn about the history of America and be a very, very small part of it. And it is, I've learned so much about, fried chicken too. And
One of my
Horse
favorite songs.
racing and
That's one of my
whiskey.
favorite songs. Yes, I love the fried chicken song.
Yeah, everyone loves the fried chicken stuff. But it's like that's what I want to let people know if they come to the show and grab the album. This third album we're releasing is a trilogy, and all three records are in there, and it's incredible storytelling, and especially through the pandemic. That second, lest we forget, I continued to do it via this. We do the songwriting via this and wrote some songs, and that became a project, and it talks about their experience during pandemic. I mean, it's history on many levels. And so it's such a special project. And I know that at the end of my career, this to me feels like what I was being trained to do for the last years, to be able to sit and help somebody else tell their story. And I mean that really sincerely. Like, this has been a cornerstone for me in just at least feeling like I'm offering something that's of some value, I guess, you know.
It is a lot of value, and I do believe that this is something that is a marquee part of your career for sure. Now, look,
Oh,
people, I have been in this community for lots of years, and I have promoted events, and I've told you about events. And you know what? I'm honest a lot of times when I tell you, eh, we're straight up honest. But I'm 100% honest right now when I tell you, you need to buy tickets to this show. Not a sales pitch. I'm not getting a commission off this deal. None of that. But I'm telling you, you need to buy tickets to this event, and then you need to buy a copy of all of the albums, because it is something that that you will remember all your life. So it's Lest We Forget, celebrating their service through song. And to tell you, it means a lot to the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center too. Not only did they just book this concert, they added it to their season. So it's a
yeah.
part of the season. So Saturday, November the 12th, 7 o'clock, Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center. You can get the tickets at thepack.net. Don't miss it. Tomorrow,
Don't miss
looking
it.
forward to it. The 12th can't get here fast enough.
Yeah, we'll be laughing and crying. It's a night of celebration, so please do come along, because the veterans are going to love to hear people clapping and cheering. So,
All right, November 12th, get those tickets, Lest We Forget, celebrating their service through song. She is Tamara Stewart, singer, songwriter, and friend of us all. I am Greg Milby, community storyteller, and this is Kentucky's Heartland.